All right, so this video is all about the reunion special for Ready to Love. Listen, there's some stuff that we got to talk about in this one. All right, we'll be right back. All right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
You forget your name?
I do not forget my name. It's just...
This, of course, is Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and some of our favorite shows. And so, if that's if that's content that you like, definitely make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hit the like button, and request notifications. All right.
Great recovery.
Hey, we do what we do here. We do what we do. One take, right? All right. So, the reunion special for Ready to Love was last night. Whenever you're watching this. But there's a lot that happened in that first hour, and there's still more to come. Some of my predictions were true. Some of my predictions probably need to rethink. But the first thing I want to ask is, what was Amber wearing?
She had a snake going up her arm, so it looked like it was something designed specifically maybe for her.
Is she auditioning for Coming to America 3? That's all I gotta ask. 'Cause that I don't know what it was, but
yeah,
okay.
It was a snake. It was going up her arm.
Gotcha. Okay, as long as you figured it out.
She was a goddess, remember?
Gotcha.
He found his queen, his goddess.
Whatever works for them. Yep. I know you wouldn't wear that. That's all I know.
No, I wouldn't. That's not me, but it was Amber.
It's Amber.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure it out. All right.
Well, KJ, I mean, KJ, I think he get his suits made because the material on top of that suit is normally with like a prom material. So KJ.
So you saying it was prom king and queen and Ready to Love?
Hey, they were handling their business. KJ always come on strong with the suit. So KJ, come on. Or KG.
Get the initials right, woman. Dang.
I was calling him KJ.
KG.
It looked like they were calling him KJ last night. But anywho, maybe because of AJ, I'm thinking KJ.
You're mixing up your consonants. Yep.
KG. He should come up with his own suit line. I mean, he should think about it.
He should, but I don't know.
You have to be
the right person.
Right.
Yes.
His brand carries for a certain kind of guy.
Right.
And there's enough of them out there.
They're all in Detroit, but that's another story.
So, hey, Chicago. Keep it moving.
You don't wear that in Chicago. Nope. Unless you're on the west side. All right. So, but KG and Amber, they do kind of talk to them first. And KG's like, I knew from day 2. And Tommy's like, the brunch, the second day?
He's like, yeah, but he's like, I got to keep mingling.
Right.
So, which is good because he's like, I learned from my past mistake. I didn't want to just attach myself. I wanted to date as many women as possible to make sure. And I think you can find a one-time, like, you meet someone and have that real connection.
Right.
But you have to make sure it's genuinely received as well. Yes. And so because it wasn't genuinely received the first time, he was like, okay, I felt that, but I want to mingle. Right. So I'm glad he took his own advice and learned from his experience. Yeah. And now he's able to really bask in this process.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you've watched any other season of Ready to Love, KG was on their last season, on season 3, and had a major issue with Naya. In fact, you can go back and kind of watch our recap from that. But basically, he was all in on Naya last season, and she turned upside down on him real quick. And so he was gone kind of with no warning. So he at least this time was like, I'm going to do a lot more dating, not be so focused in. But he was also like, when you know, you know.
Right.
So Tressa was out with COVID, so it looks like Tressa's doing better because we see her on Instagram and everything.
Yeah,
so she's doing
her
better.
Comedy thing. So.
But yeah, it would have been good to hear her perspective on some things,
right?
Especially her and Diedrich and some of the other things that happened. So maybe we'll see that in the second half, but I don't think so. I think they'll kind of let that lie. Alexis made a statement that I was like, okay. She said Cairo was playing Monopoly and chess, and she was unsure of the motives.
Well, she said that throughout the series, right? So one of the episodes, she said that.
Right.
I think if you see Alexis, she comes up in a lot of these recaps, because she really speaks her mind,
Right.
and what's on her mind. And so that was her feeling at that time. And I don't think anyone should fault her because that's how she felt, right? Because even she indicated she was a competitive person.
Right.
And so being a competitive person, you see competition.
I mean, who can forget the am I your number one? Am I your number one? Who's your number one? Am I your number one?
Right.
So yeah.
All
right. So then we got to see some folks that we haven't seen since like day one.
Like you forgot they were
like you forgot they were on there. You're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Khalid, so first of all, shout out to Khalid for getting a better outfit, having a
I'd probably help him with that.
She might have. Yeah.
So Khalil stepped up his game. Maybe his friends saw the episode like, dude, we gotta redo
or something. Yeah.
Your wardrobe need to come up. So he did a come up.
He did.
Look a lot better.
And then it looks like he's talking with Ida, and there were some things that happened. So
that it was crazy.
Yeah, watch it. Let us know what you think, because it was like he probably couldn't have lasted on the show because he's confused. Unsure of what he wants and how he's talking. So it sounds as if they've been dating, and Ida was like, "Are we gonna make this a thing? Are we gonna let people know?" And he was like, "No," not saying he was gonna try and hold it for the reunion. So then when Khalil outs and says, "Yeah, I've been kicking it with Ida. We kind of hanging out." She's like, "Oh, I know we was announcing that to the world. I know we was disclosing that now because she evidently had asked," and he was like, "No."
Right, and then she was like, "Well, let him explain since he decided to share." And he fumbles. Like you know when a receiver has an opportunity to throw something, to receive something, and take it to the end zone. I don't know if they together now.
See, it wasn't even a throw. It was a handoff. She literally was like, "Here, take this," and he was like,
he messed it up.
He fumbled.
It was bad. It was. So, I don't know, because I'll be like, I don't know what we're doing, because if you can't explain our relationship,
right,
or that we're dating and we're really trying to really see where this goes, then you don't know outside of this what we're doing, is what you're saying. So.
And then we saw Christian, who, listen, he's like, if you blink fast, you missed him, right? Because Christian was there.
Bless his heart.
He did last just like a couple of hours longer than Khalil, but Christian was just so reserved, so in the background, so laid back.
Yes.
That the ladies almost from the beginning knew that he wasn't the one, right?
Right.
But he's been talking with Andrea, who Blinken missed her too, because she was gone.
She was gone because I know she kind of focused more like on
she had lost her cat or something.
She lost something.
It was like, okay.
And then it got lost in conversation.
So, but Christian is definitely not he's not like Clarence. He's not an alpha male. He's not.
No.
I'm alpha. I don't know how to be weak. That's not not Christian.
I think he's just, like you said, he's very reserved and a laid back guy. And this process may not have really fit him,
right? Because
he needed to be a lot more aggressive in his approach to the ladies. And so I think him, outside of the process, being able to still connect with someone is a great.
Yeah, but even though, like that night in the reunion, it was like he had to be pumped and primed to ask out Andrea.
Yeah.
And then even though he asked her out, he was like, "I want to have a conversation with you later on about maybe us going out together." So it's like he's asking to ask her out, right?
I don't know. It's just you're trying to figure out at a certain age, where's your developmental stage of being able to date?
Right.
And I think we don't spend enough money on our mental health, and not saying that he's not mentally healthy, but our mental development as well. And if there's something
more emotional intelligence and emotional development, and even confidence, I think, in that.
Right.
So.
But that's something you can also pay someone to help you with. So if you're going to pay for your outfits, you pay for clothes. I think at some point, if I'm like, I've been dating this long and I'm not finding someone, then if you can't get on the show, you're going to have to pay somebody to talk to say, why am I still struggling when I want to be in a committed long-term relationship?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. He's going to have to put some money out.
We creating up new ideas and new, listen. All right. So, and then we kind of have a conversation with Ron. So, one of the things that happened a little before was the whole thing about Kyra kind of being on everybody's mind for a moment. Tommy made a statement where he was like, you know, all that information came out of one of our guy lounges session. And it was like everybody kind of knew he wasn't happy about it because again
he wasn't happy.
The idea, he didn't. He had address it. But
he probably addressed it in the back.
True.
He probably like if you ever. That's bro code.
Right. That's the thing.
Bro code.
That's the thing is that I think that the way that it should have been designed or the way that I think it was intended was
be a safe space.
A safe space for the guys to come and talk, just like it's a safe space for the ladies to come and talk.
Right.
And then to have a guy violate that and really just be messy, right?
Just messy.
So you know who we talking about now, right?
Right.
Ron. Ron is messy. Okay. Ron is like pigpen messy with this whole thing. So then they do have a conversation with Ron, and Ron, of course, is called on the carpet about his statements to Alexis at the end. Right. I thought you're smarter than that. Right. And here's the thing: is he tries to explain it that he was talking to her about AJ, that the context of the conversation was AJ, and even if that were the case, you still don't insult a person's intelligence. Because they don't move the way you want to move.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So regardless of the context, the words still were not good.
Correct.
The words still have, there's an issue with the words.
Right. And I think I'm glad that Tommy did address it because I think that's been always a major concern. Is in our community, right?
Yep.
And how we're seen and how we treat one another.
Yep.
And how men treat women. Period. No matter what community you're in. But as African Americans, we need to stand up for each other.
Absolutely.
But we need to stand up for our Black women. We've been in so many ways been put down, let down.
It's also a putting against each other when that's not what is needed, right?
That's not what's needed. So it was good that it was addressed.
Yep.
He tried to clean it up, but still was feeling like, oh, well, then she needs to apologize. You can only, as Jason told him, you can only take responsibility for your actions.
Right.
And you can't go back. So you just need to apologize for how it went down. Because he even mentioned, well, you were talking about my religion and or the lack of. And she was like, when? I didn't, So I think he's not a very good communicator. Yeah. Because if he had feelings, just say you're hurt.
Right.
I'm hurt that you're not picking me. I'm hurt that I'm leaving.
Absolutely.
I'm hurt that we didn't have better conversations about where we are religiously and where I want to be in that area. Just say it.
Yeah.
And move on.
Right.
Instead of attacking. Because that's what he said. You're the one that end up throwing all the jabs.
Right.
Ron.
And so he does offer a non-apology. Focus on the because he didn't apologize. Let's just be honest. But then he also, we also find out, because there was also, if you remember, his other interest was chrysanthemum.
Correct.
Right? And so chrysanthemum met his mom.
Right. So he says, "You're my first. You're my first. You're my first. You're my first." Well, out of all those women, she was the first to meet.
And he's like, mother. It's not like that. No, I'm sorry. Listen.
I'm like. So you just invite random women to your mother's house to say hi because y'all in the area?
Yeah.
So, but you're in a process where we're saying ready for love. Outside of the process and being filmed, you invite this young lady to your mom and meet her. Yeah. Not like I'm running in the house, wait out in the car.
Right.
Like come in. And he says, I think they were going to get along. Well, why would you want a strange woman to get along with your mother that you potentially is not going to see anymore?
Listen, my mother knew when I started introducing Tarsha to her, she knew, okay, this is one he's very serious about. Because anybody else I was dating, it was like, my mom may have known them because of, the community where we grew up, things of that nature. But it was not like, I was like, Mom, you got to,
Yeah.
So to do that, especially, again, we're not talking like he's 15, 16, bringing her over to the house, while they sip on Capri Suns, right? um, he's a grown man bringing a grown woman to his older mother, right?
Right, because I probably would even say, "Oh, I want you to meet my mom." I'm like, "Well, I really don't want to meet your mother."
Are we at that place yet?
I'm like, I'll stay in the car if you're just running in.
Right.
But if you say, "Oh, you know what? I want you to come meet my mother," I was like, I don't want to really meet your mom. I'm gonna be honest right now. I don't want to meet your mother.
Right. So then, of course, Ron, because again, Ron is what? Messy. Say it with me. He's messy. Right. So then Ron gets called to the carpet again about Amber.
Yes.
And he's like, we went on many dates. Amber's like, huh?
Like, what?
A couple dates. What? Okay, one date. How you, in a matter of a few, not even a full minute, in a matter of seconds, go from many to one.
In his head, they've been on many dates. So, but I'm like, you trying to get Amber like in trouble and you trying to put Amber in your mouth. And it's like, don't put my name in your mouth.
Right.
Don't put my name in your mouth. And all the other ladies was like, what? What is going on with you, dude?
Yeah.
So.
And then again, Ron is, he's what? Messy. So then he says that Alexis cheated on him with AJ, which, again, in this process, how are you cheating on someone when everybody's going on dates?
I don't know. I don't know where he was mentally. That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
She claimed you as the number one, but she knew that you didn't think of her as the number one.
Right.
And so I'm just really confused about him. Mm-hmm. And it seems like he's confused.
We call that confused. He's not even confused. He's confused. All right. And then we do have a conversation with Frick and Frack, Stacy and Chrysanthemum.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they felt that, first of all, they wanted to make sure that, letting everybody know they're straight. They're not dating each other. I mean, and there are women that have great, strong sister connections, right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
I think, but in the process, and they said they didn't kind of share with each other, but I've seen scenes where was it
Chrysanthemum?
No.
Stacy.
Stacy asks Ron, where's Chrysanthemum concerning their relationship?
Right.
And so I've seen them try to help the other person out.
Right.
For them to get clarity. So they can't say they weren't doing that.
Right.
And that's what the men was concerned about. Like, I'm trying to make sure when I talk to you about you ain't sharing with your girl who's also going through the process at the same time. And that can, make a man feel like, ooh, I don't want to be like on eggshells when I'm talking to you because I don't know what you're going to share.
Right.
Because I can't have a vulnerable place at the moment I'm with you.
It's like I want to engage with you. I want to connect with you, but am I connecting with you or am I connecting with you and your girl?
Right.
All right. And if in this process I'm saying something to you, and it's not double talk, if you will. It's not I'm saying you're my number one, and then going back to the other one and saying that you're their number one. Right. This is just having a conversation of where we are.
Right.
And now I've got to have a conversation with you about where we are, but also where I am with your girl.
Right.
That doesn't work
for a guy,
right? It's not good dynamics. And so they did try to say that it was a double standard, but I didn't see, and again, there's editing, we get that, there's all this, but I don't see, and I just knowing how I move as a man, right? Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily see myself or see what I saw from the guys, where they are having, kikiing and laughing about where they are with each other. Yes, I know you're having a good relationship with her. Cool, you do that. I'm gonna pursue it my way.
Right. It's because it'd be like the best example would be like AJ going to Jason, like, so when me and Kai was talking, I really feel like she's saying this about me, and she did mention you and what she didn't like about you, stuff like that.
Right.
I don't feel like the men were doing that.
Right.
I think they were saying, hey, this is my number one person, and this is what I'm getting out of it when they were in the lounge, you know.
And even when the guys were, let's say, in the group events, I think what we saw from Stacy and Chrysanthemum was that they were so focused on each other
Right.
that it was hard for guys to come in and have a conversation.
Correct.
And we didn't see where guys were so focused on having a conversation with their brother
Right.
or with the other guy that they couldn't have a conversation with a woman, right?
Right.
I can't see Joel and Jason being so engrossed in the conversation
Right.
that when Liz comes over or Vernisha comes over that they're like, hold on, let me finish talking to this dude. That doesn't work, right?
Right.
So I get what she's saying as far as the double standard. I don't think that's, as far as what we saw,
right,
completely accurate, right?
Right.
And then we kind of get to the real big part of this season as far as AJ, Alexis, and Kyra.
Yes.
So as we kind of predicted, and go back and watch our predictions video, we were pretty spot on some things we missed, right?
Right.
But AJ and Kyra did continue dating after the decision day, right? Dating going okay.
Well, she had a 2-week trip planned right after the process was over.
Yep.
So now this is the thing. I don't know. She didn't say she asked him to go on the trip.
And it might have been a work trip. It might have been a girl's trip. It could have been,
It could have been, but I mean, I don't know. She didn't mention we don't know if it was an option or not. But she indicated we communicated while I was on the trip. I was really making sure that I was paying attention to them. Yep. That's what I got with her saying they were texting and communicating together. But during that period, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's choking me up.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Hey, we know that Alexis reaches out to AJ.
Yeah. So they're having the Kyra and AJ.
They're dating.
They're dating.
They're not in there.
They're not committed.
They're not exclusive.
They're dating.
They're dating.
But it's after the show, so you would think that there is some level of we're going to focus at least and see where this goes, right? Kind of, right? But then Alexis DMs him and it's like, hey, she's doing an autopsy of her time with him on the show.
She's trying to process.
She's trying to process this. She's like, was any of it? It's her birthday. Your birthday, you kind of think about where you've been, where you are, where you're going,
my age,
right?
I'm not married.
All those things, right? So she's doing the autopsy of of their time together, right? Was any of it real? Was it any of it valid? What have you? So then that turns into a date,
right? For her birthday, he's like, "I'm gonna take you out," and he took her out.
Yep.
And she said it became intimate. They were kissing.
Yep. She's like, I got pictures.
I got selfies. And,
she's like, I got pictures on this.
And she's like, he never mentioned, where they were in the process. He had to mention something, right?
Right.
Because I'm thinking like this. You picked Kyra. You ended the process with her. So you should have had some type of conversation.
Right.
Like, so I am asking you this, but now you're asking me out. Where are you guys?
Right.
Are y'all dating or blah, 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 So I would love to hear what that conversation was because Alexis seemed very clueless.
Right.
That he was still trying to pursue her and they were still dating.
Right.
So I think this is my observation. I think he did it to kind of get back at Kyra a little bit, kind of spite her a little bit because she couldn't make a decision about being committed and he finally wants to be committed. And so he was a little bit in his feelings because she, in a sense, Kyra went on with her life.
Right. And
he's left in his mind feeling like, I'm just a single dude out here and I'm just waiting on you to make a decision. He
kind of does say, he's like, you know what? I made a decision. And he felt that she was kind of like, I'm going to leave you in this space and you just hang there until I come back to you. Right. So he kind of does, it is in some respects done out of spite. It is done out of,
I think so.
I want to kind of assert myself that I'm not just going to sit here and wait on you. But he also, because when Tommy presses about, okay, which one do you want? He's like, it's not Alexis. And Alexis is like, yeah, I kind of know that. And then one thing that we find out, because stuff that happens off the camera, right? So again, Ron is like the centerpiece of a lot of just stuff that happened, right? So evidently Ron had a little get together at his house, what have you, and something happened. I wasn't clear on the story.
Oh, I'm clear on the story.
Go ahead.
So basically, AJ was supposed to talk to Alexis. And AJ is pretty much telling Alexis, hey, hang back. I want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. So Alexis is specifically staying and hanging around
to talk to
AJ. Well, AJ's downstairs hanging out, talking to the fellas.
Right.
The reason why we know this is because Ron goes, Alexis, he doesn't look like he's going to be moving. You've been here a while. Let me walk you to your car because he's not getting out his conversation.
Right.
And so then Ron decides to approach AJ like, dude, you just left this girl hanging. You were supposed to talk to her a while ago. And then that's when they asked AJ, what happened? Oh, I was talking to the fellas. So that again tells you AJ wants someone to pursue him.
Right.
And he doesn't like being uncomfortable not being pursued.
Right.
And that's where Kyra had him.
Right.
And so since he's not used to being in that space, so he kind of gives off that vibe again to Alexis. But Ron thinks like he's being the hero. And see, I'm thinking Ron has to portray himself a certain way.
Right.
He has to have a certain persona that he gives off, but he's totally somebody else.
Yeah.
He a bandit.
Wow.
They wear a mask and they go behind the scenes.
Hey, listen. So leaving her waiting for 2 hours. Now, let me point out, because one of the things as we were talking about that, I was like, we just talked about Stacy and Chrysanthemum focusing on each other too much to the extent that other guys couldn't get in. I think the different, and again, Stacy and Chrysanthemum may not have just been interested in any of the guys. Right. I don't think that that's the case.
Right.
But AJ definitely was not interested in Alexis. Alexis was. In some respects, I don't even know that Alexis would have been his consolation prize. Alexis would have been kind of like a make-do with him, right? I don't think that he was really feeling her. And he was playing the game just like Kyra, in my opinion, was playing the game to get to the end. So he was whatever was coming his direction. Because if you remember when they first went out on the date, Alexis and AJ, it seemed like he was a little put off by how aggressive she was at the time.
Yes.
If you remember that.
And I don't think that really changed a lot.
I don't think so. I think that Kyra
was trying.
I think he was trying. I think he was like, well, this is what's coming at me. I'm going to at least entertain it and see how far it goes. And that's kind of the challenge, I think, with this show, is that you have people that come on almost treating it like a competition to get to the end, like you're going to get the rose and be the bachelorette or bachelor at the end. Completely different scenario, right?
Well, I think also everybody wants to win in love, right? You want to be wanted. And want to be wanted is being at the end.
Right.
And I think for AJ, again, he likes people to pursue him so he can say no to. It's about the chase and being chased.
AJ is still learning how to navigate without being in player mode, and he still dabbles into player mode. Right. As we've seen, right?
Right.
So that was kind of the cliffhanger as far as what Kyra wants. Next episode, it looks like, so a couple of observations just from the trailer. Joel and Vernicia seem to be very much in trouble, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I thought that they would be together for a little bit, but I didn't think that they were long term. So that's there. We'll see kind of what other things pop up out of that.
Right.
It looks like we'll be spending a little more time talking about this whole AJ, Alexis, Kyra situation. And then Jason gets thrown into the mix. And here's the thing, I don't know if you noticed this, but Kyra's still talking about Jason.
I think Kyra fell for Jason. I think Kyra really fell for Jason. But again, Jason moves this way. You need to make a decision. And in that little clip, you see him like kind of explode, like, dude, you aren't going to be real with me about your feelings.
Right.
Because another thing, being vulnerable is being in love.
Right.
And so if you were going to pick him, would he have chosen you? if you were more a person who could be more vulnerable,
Right.
I feel like Jason is saying, I need a mature woman who's going to be vulnerable
And knows what she wants.
And knows what she wants.
Mhm.
If you can't tell me that what you want, no matter what the outcome is, then I can't mess with you.
Right.
And so Jason was just like, so what do you want from me? You know, he's very serious.
Yeah. So
I got to give it to him.
Yeah, I give it to him.
Oh my gosh.
So now I don't think this is going to happen, but it would not surprise me if Jason tried to do a proposal at the reunion. Wouldn't surprise me. I think he's that sprung.
Yeah, and I feel
but
like
I don't think it's going to happen.
It may not. You know, he may really want to develop his relationship,
Right.
which is good too. But I feel like out of all of them, let's be honest, they have the and KJ and Amber, but I think Jason may be further. KG. I want to call him KJ so bad. I'm so sorry, KG.
Just call him Chris.
Chris.
All right. So yeah. So I think that I think that Chris and Amber will continue. I think that they'll continue forward. Mm-hmm. I don't know how. I don't know. There's something about them that kind of is like, they may not last long term, but I think that they'll push forward for a while.
I mean, anything's possible.
True.
They could grow on each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's possible.
But I think Jason's like, I ain't letting go of Liz unless Liz kick me.
Liz is like, I'm about to get a ring on it. Shit.
Yeah, Liz. Yeah, I think they are too. They're staying together for a while, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let us know in the comments your thoughts. Let us know what you saw, what observations you made that we did not see, or your thoughts on anything that happened, is even your predictions for the next episode. As we wrap up Ready to Love this 4th season. Make sure you're sharing. Also, go to we have a new Instagram that we have that is connected to this channel, Conversations with the Crawleys. You can find us again on Instagram with that. And make sure that you are subscribing, hitting those notifications, requesting likes, and all those stuff. All right?
Follow us.
Yep. See y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.